Yeah, so let's, I guess, just jump right into it. Can you talk a little bit about how, stage one went for you guys and what you guys are doing right now?
Stage one was positive. I think the kids just like to have that social action, and not only the kids, but the coaches did too. So I remember going out those first few days, and there were just so many smiles, and people were excited to be around each other again. And I think towards the end of the second week, kids were itching and they were actually begging coaches, who can we write, who can we contact to move on and introduce balls and stuff. And so thankfully, we started our stage two this Monday, the 22nd, and we've got guidelines and stuff, but kids can go in the gym up to groups of 15. They can have balls, they can do drills. They just can't, no contact. Got to maintain their social distance. Baseball, softball, they can do ground balls, they can hit, they can do a variety of things. So we're progressing, but basically we're to the point where there's no contact and you got to maintain your social distancing is the bottom line in everything that we're doing.
You got it. You talked a little bit before about, parents. This is kind of a contentious issue on both sides of it.
It is. It's very emotional. I think you see that in our community too. You've got, you go out to a grocery store or whatever, and you've got your people that are wearing masks, and you got your people that you can tell that think it's silly, and there's everything in between. So I think we're in that same boat, but we're moving forward. I think it's a step in the right direction. I've been asked quite a few times, what about stage three? What does it look like, when? And don't know. Don't know when, don't know what it looks like. We're going to meet again with our task force on Wednesday to start talking about stage three, but I think it's really going to help us if Major League Baseball, if the NBA can be successful, if training camps for NFL can be successful and provide some guidelines. I think that would help us out.
To that end, how important is your contact with Mesa County Public Health and those guys?
They've been great, and I know they're swamped, and I appreciate the time and energy that they've been giving us. There's a lot of questions, and so I think they don't have all the answers either. And so we're just looking for guidance and approval, and I think there's a lot of groups that are doing that, and so very appreciative for their time and energy that they've been giving us.
You already mentioned stage three is probably too early to talk about even, but obviously the fall season's coming up too. I know you're in contact with Chad, so how's that coming?
They break up sports by commissioner and assistant commissioners, and so each individual has been tasked with coming up with a plan to start sports. Now, a lot of things have to fall in place. And so I was just talking with the coach yesterday from the Front Range, and he was just seeing where we were at. And, we have to be fortunate. They're maxed out at groups of 25. They're limited to even fewer things than we are. So it made me feel good. But he's a football coach, and he's very concerned about locker rooms and just the nature of football. Is this going to happen in the fall? And there's just so many unknowns.
To that unknown, how frustrating is it for you as an athletic director to kind of be in this situation? I mean, obviously everybody's kind of in this situation.
Yeah, everybody is, but we're just trying to find a way to make things work, and trying to get things so that, I think people are a lot more satisfied with what they're able to do. And personally, I think it's good for kids to work on their fundamentals anyway. If a kid's making mistakes playing games, we need to correct those mistakes. So this is a great opportunity for them to work on fundamentals. And, when I played at the collegiate and I played a little bit of pro in Europe, every level I went, the more fundamentals we did. And so I think this is a good time to work on fundamentals. Whether you're a basketball player, you're shooting, if you're, tennis player, you're working on your backhand and various things, and really working on those fundamentals, because repetition is the mother of skill.
Maybe a difficult question to answer, but what if you have a concerned parent that says, I don't know if I want my kid kind of going to practice? Obviously you can't put yourself in their shoes or whatever, but what do you tell them?
And I'm in that same boat as a parent too, with my son and being a marching man and stuff. And if you're not comfortable, don't send them. That's the bottom line. If you're not comfortable with what's going on, keep them at home. There's things you can do at home as an individual. I've read stories, I read Sports Illustrated that a lot of professional athletes and swimmers came up with some very unique ways to work out in their backyards. And I think if you've got the desire, you can find out ways to use your body weight and various things to do conditioning. And so, yeah.
coming down with the virus, the new rolled ankle. You're out for a couple weeks. You're going to take a couple weeks to get your conditioning back.
I think that is such a unique question because, okay, so let's say we do start in the fall, and let's say a team or an individual on a team, you know, I know of a school up valley quite a ways that half their football team has COVID, and it came from a social gathering. And so the question is, if we start season and kids get exposed or get that, what do? Do you quarantine the whole team? Do you quarantine just the kids that are affected? Do you test the whole team? I mean, there's so many, I don't know the answers, you know. It just seems like the big thing that we're being told, and it's what everybody's hearing, is wash your hands, you know, and that's what we're doing with all of our kids. When they get there and when they leave, got to wash your hands. You know, we have these hand washing stations, and whether they're outside, inside, you know, that's the big thing that we're being told, and I don't see that going away.